Hey everyone and welcome to this new video. In today's video we'll be taking a look at Party Hard Tycoon and specifically looking at the recent interview I've done with the game's developer, Pinokl Games. I just wanted to say a quick thank you to Pinokl Games and also their publisher Tiny Build for offering up their time and making this possible, because it really would not be doable without them. Likewise, I also want to thank Typical Nexus, who is a friend of mine that's kindly volunteered to read out the interview answers for this video. So, recently I have been playing an interesting little game called Party Hard Tycoon. It's a spin-off of Party Hard and Party Hard 2. The Tycoon variant, however, takes the player on a journey of making profit from running parties rather than being the one crashing them. I still have yet to fully explore the game, since my party business seems to be crashing and burning at a specific point, but I am getting there with it and I have thoroughly enjoyed my experience so far. However, in playing the game, it brought to mind some questions, and after doing a little bit of digging and then actually talking to the developer, that is how this interview came about. So, without further ado, I'm going to dive on into the questions and then the answers. Enjoy! For those in the Charede Gaming community who don't know who you are, can you give a little bit of background on who you are, where you're based, and the game titles you've produced?
We are a small development team of 12 people from Rivne, Ukraine.
How did your founders originally get into the games industry professionally?
Alexander Potapenko and Igor Artichuk have a university background in programming, and this is where they met and studied together at the university. Each of them tried to become a game developer, made their own games, participated as game masters at different MMOs. At some points, they worked in different places, not connected with game development, such as banks and factories, and they then decided to open their own web development studio. Out of all the orders they were getting, about 30 to 50% were gaming projects. Then they slowly started developing their own games. Andrew Borissov joined in 2011. At that point, he already had his own studio in a different city consisting of around 10 people and had several successful social projects. At that time, Pinokl Games was developing free-to-play games for Eastern European social networks. 3 of the biggest games had approximately 6 million installations. It was at this point Pinokl Games switched to mobile and after that made Party Hard.
Of the games you've produced so far, which would you say have been the most challenging and why?
Party Hard Tycoon was the hardest since it was a new genre for us. But, to be fair, each new game is the hardest because we are always trying new things. It was challenging to make a mobile multiplayer game after social web games. After mobile games, PC and console games seemed hard since they were new to us.
Of the games you've produced so far, which would you say have been the most rewarding to make and why?
Party Hard for sure. It was a big leap after free-to-play games. Our biggest reward was the game development process. The game was made for the gamers, not for monetization, CPI/LTV, marketing and advertising. At that point, Steam was different from free-to-play platforms because game success depended on how much players liked the game. If they liked the game, there are positive reviews, streams, promotions, featuring and sales. While to be successful in free-to-play, you needed to buy cheap traffic and calculate the conversion.
If those watching this have a chance to pick up one game right now that you've developed, which one would you recommend most and why?
Always the next game. Party Hard 2 will be even better. Of course, we recommend the original Party Hard as well. You can play it on consoles, PC or even mobile.
Which other games and developers have you drawn inspiration from during the development of Party Hard Tycoon, if any?
Unfortunately, we didn't have any direct inspiration, which made the development very challenging. Some of the games which inspired us were Theme Hospital, Game Dev Tycoon, Game Dev Story, This is the Police, and Basement.
I personally really love the art style. Where did the decision to go down that route come from, and who in Pinokl's team is focused on the art elements of the Party Hard games?
Alexander Ponomaryov is the main pixel evangelist at Pinokl. What happened with Party Hard, we didn't plan it like other games. We had to make a game for a game jam and only had 3 days for this task. We had more resources to make it with pixel art and the players loved the art style.
With Party Hard Tycoon being a spin-off of Party Hard and Party Hard 2, what have you focused on when pulling their thematic core across into Party Hard Tycoon?
Our game fans have always been the driving force behind the game. They really enjoyed the workshop and level editor in the first Party Hard and many wanted to throw their own parties. We thought, why not?
Party Hard and Party Hard 2 are all focused on crashing the party, whereas Party Hard Tycoon focuses on you running these crazy parties for maximum profit. How has this complete change in the role and the goal of the player impacted on the way you have focused development?
From the development point of view, in both cases, 80% of our work was focused on environments, parties, and behaviour of partygoers, so the game focus didn't change a lot. It felt good to work on a different project, to assess Party Hard with fresh eyes, and add more new mechanics and content to the second part of the game.
Were there any mechanics you tried out during early development but realised would not work, and why?
We had to change the gameplay a couple of times completely. For example, the party preparation. First, all the gameplay was about preparation, selecting the topic, place and other settings, and then party in the idle mode. But then we started playing, we understood that each player wanted to go to action during the party itself, we had to cut and simplify a lot of things.
Are there any aspects you feel Party Hard Tycoon excels at and are particularly proud of?
Many funny moments. When the players are happy, we are happy, and we like to hear when people wanted to dance from the party music and when the player couldn't stop laughing after a party was crashed by the nude bodybuilders.
If there is anything you could change about Party Hard Tycoon in hindsight, what would it be and why?
Only if we had a time machine, to know which mechanics work better or not working at all without spending time on the testing, and of course add more murders and an assassin in the very beginning.
For those in the Charede Gaming community who don't know, when and where is Party Hard Tycoon being released?
It's available on Steam in early access right now.
How did you originally get involved in working with TinyBuild on your projects?
Alexander Potapenko visited DevGam conference in Minsk where he watched Alex Nishiporchik's presentation about what game streamers like and how to earn their attention. Then, a month later, our game jam build of Party Hard got millions of views on different YouTube channels. We then understood that this game would work great for this publisher. We spent a couple of months to develop a stable build and presented it to TinyBuild. Even though we knew TinyBuild guys for several years already, they are very strict in their game selection. Many developers would like to work with TinyBuild, but as far as we know, they don't want to mass publish games on Steam and work personally with each developers.
How do you feel the relationship you have with TinyBuild has been beneficial in the production and distribution of your games?
The game development process is not easy. For example, while making the first Party Hard, we were releasing working alphas every month. This is a super fast pace, but it was worth it. Developers work hard, but there is a huge amount of work from the publisher's side as well, which for the most part stays behind the curtains.
How do you feel TinyBuild differs from other publishers?
First of all, with their focus on the games. Earlier we worked with several other publishers who only got involved after the game release. TinyBuild participated in the game's development from the very beginning. Some developers act like they are buying the game and tell developers what they want the game to be. In our case with TinyBuild, they give suggestions and we get to decide what to do with the game.
For those who are interested in getting into game development, what is the best piece of advice you can give based on your experience in the industry?
Participate in contests, game jams and conferences. Party Hard was born at one of the game jams. We met all of the TinyBuild team at different industry events long before the company was founded.
What do you feel is the biggest challenge the games industry faces at the moment?
The biggest challenge is being in trend. Everything changes very quickly. A couple of years ago, people used to buy new graphics cards to play AAA games like Crysis, and now they do this for experimental products like Rust or PUBG. Forecasting game or genre success is impossible. When you start the game development, you need to guess what genre will be popular when it launches. Sometimes working on something that is popular right now is too late.
Does the Pinokl team have any plans for future games?
Right now, just Party Hard 2. After its launch, probably updates to the game. We worked on the original Party Hard for a year after its launch, which made our players very happy.
For those who don't already know, where can you guys be found so people can check them out?
You can find Party Hard on the Steam Store, PlayStation Store, on Xbox, GOG, Apple App Store and Google Play.
If people would like to get in contact with you to ask any questions, what's the best way they can do this?
Feel free to reach out to us at www.facebook.com/partyhardgames or Twitter at partyhardgame.
Any games members of the Pinokl team like to play in their free time and could recommend to the Charede Gaming community?
We love Hello Neighbour, and of course PUBG. We have a huge love for this game.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm sorry I'm not putting out content as regularly as I'd like to. Unfortunately, with multiple jobs on the go and trying to get back into streaming, it's been a bit difficult for me. But I'm getting there. We're working on it. And thank you to everyone who's been sticking by me. There's so many of you guys who've been incredibly supportive on the Patreon as well as on Twitch. I mean, the amount of subs I've had in the last week is insane. Just wanted to let people know that the money is going to go to good use. I'm in the process at the moment of upgrading the lighting system here and also getting a new webcam so we can do more vlog-based stuff. So hopefully that will be really, really nice. We'll get to it when we get to it, I guess. But yeah, just thank you so much. You're making things possible that I couldn't imagine being possible, you know, even 6 months ago. So thank you. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.